Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. For this week's reading, I will be using the Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle cards. I have the sage burning in the background. I always like to clear up my space when I do my readings. So I'm just going to draw 3 cards. Oops, we have a flying card. 3 cards for the week. Okay. And we have 4 cards, so I'll just go with that. The first card we have is High Priestess of Fire. Okay. And with this card, I'm drawn to the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is the sexual chakra and also the center of creativity. But what I'm getting with this is for you to bring back your fire, to bring back that zest for life. I'm also drawn to the number 5. Which talks about changes to me. So I feel like when I look at this card, I feel like you've been through a lot, or you're still processing a lot. Look at this image. It's like there are aspects of her which are kind of I don't want to say broken apart, but in a way, just like the phoenix kind of rises from the ashes, she too has risen. And this is like, she's kind of looking back, but at the same time she has this fiery element. So I feel like with all the changes that you're going through, this card is almost like, where is that spark which is within you? It is within you, and this is like the High Priestess of Fire. Okay, if you want work with the fire element, light a candle, say your prayer, set your intentions with fire. Okay, work with the energy of fire. But this is like you have all this energy within you, and what is that you want to create as you're going through these changes? Because changes is what's coming with the number 5, and you're going through these changes, and it's like, things that are kind of breaking apart, but at the same time you're like reinventing yourself. So that's what I'm getting. Like, even though things may be falling apart for you, or things may be changing for you drastically, and with this it's like, you're being reborn. So there's a lot of death and rebirth, but this is like new energy coming through out of whatever is lost or whatever has passed, but you're like reinventing yourself with this fire element. Okay, let's move on to the next card. We have the Warrior. Now with this specific card, let me see what I'm getting with this. What I'm getting with this is be true to yourself. Okay, be the warrior of your life. Like, be the hero of your life. Like, you can be the hero of your life. And the number 2 is all about having faith in your own strength. Okay, your strength to make these changes, which card number 1 speaks about. So you really have to tap into that warrior within. And with these 2 cards together, I feel like maybe you're lacking motivation. You're like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? And you need to tap into this energy, which is the warrior energy, which is actually within you. It is not outside of you. Okay, and this warrior comes to say that I live within you, and you need to reach within. Okay, since there's a lot of blues here, and blues are like remind me of the water element and your emotions. Okay, so try to keep a balance when it comes to emotions. Balance is one thing that's coming with this. Okay, I want to move to the third card. We have Fledging, and I'm immediately drawn to the number 1, and this again speaks to me of beginnings. Okay, and with this I also feel like you're reminiscing, or you're thinking of things that you've lost, but it's like, again, the same thing of rebuilding yourself and the new things that are coming about. So there are aspects of you that are kind of, I feel, breaking apart, but at the same time you're kind of reinventing yourself. And this is like where do you want to go from here? Where do you want to go from here, and what is that you want to create? And there are new things, even though things may be breaking apart, especially with this card. I feel like things are breaking apart, but at the same time you're reinventing yourself. With this card, I feel like, you know, there are several options if you're willing to look into it. I'm also drawn to the moon, which is in her third eye. Now this is like, you know, you tapping into your intuition, you being clear about what is that you want going forward, rather than regretting things that haven't worked for you. Look at the things that have worked for you and how do you wish to go from here, and the wisdom you've gained. So this is what I'm getting with the third card. And the last card we have is wishing. Okay, wishing, and this is 1 and 9, 19, 10, this which speaks to me of completion. So it's almost like a cycle is complete when I look at all these three cards together. And then this one is like, when I look at it, it feels to me like, you know, your wishes, your dreams. And again, this one has the water element to it. So it's like, you know, you tapping into your emotions, you taking out this time to be clear about what is that you want for yourself. So with this, I also feel it's like you desiring, but at the same time, this light reminds me of Spirit's presence. So we can desire something, we can want something, but you know, Spirit has to be you know, in partnership with it. Spirit has to agree with it. It has to be for our highest and best. However I look at this, whatever you are going through right now, I feel that this is like, you know, transformation, changes, but at the same time working in partnership with Spirit is what I'm getting with the wishing card. Like, you have wishes and dreams and desires, but you have to trust that whatever is for your highest and best will come through with partnership with Spirit. Okay. And with the warrior card, another thing I'm getting is that anything that is not in alignment with you, warrior has that strength and that, you know, anything which is not in alignment with your truth will just not stay. So it's like, you know, you gaining that clarity of your emotions as to what is that you want, especially with this card coming in. It's like new beginnings, but as you begin, you're like taking self-inventory of your life. What is that I want? Where do I want to go from here? And you have that strength, and you're doing a lot of inner work is what I'm getting with all these cards together. You're doing a lot of soul searching, inner work. What is that I want? You're kind of maybe going in and out with your emotions as well, and you know, looking at the past, looking at the present. How are things kind of gelling together? What's working, what's not working? I feel with this card, you've kind of smartened up. You've smartened up as well. You're not willing to make the same mistakes. You have that element of fire within you. It's like, you know, you have that energy which is almost magnetic, and which is almost like anything which is not in alignment is just gonna disintegrate. It's just gonna not stay with you, because you have that energy. And you're, you know, with the two middle cards, I think you're doing a lot of inner work, a lot of soul searching, and then you're at this beautiful point where, you know, you're alone in nature, but also in partnership with Spirit. And the number 10, you know, also tells me completion. So this is like a cycle which is completed, and you reach this point where you're like working in partnership with Spirit, which is just beautiful. So I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I will see you next week. Have a good one.